From studios at the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, this is Fourth and State. In this excerpt from an interview with Congressman Paul Ryan, he discusses what he thinks should happen with immigration reform.
Let's talk about immigration for a second. Ernie Franzen, there's a new deal out there, a new proposal out there this morning from a key group of senators.
I haven't even read it yet, so I don't know. Some of them are good friends of mine. I've talked to them over the last number of days and weeks. Jeff Flake, Marco Rubio. I co-sponsored Flake's bill in 2005, 2004, which was sort of the House version of McCain-Kennedy, which was back then. I've seen the principles that Marco has put out. I endorsed those. I put a statement out.
What to you would be good immigration reform?
Yeah, so having not, literally I heard about this driving up here, so I haven't had a chance to read those principles. I'm also working with a group of Democrats and Republicans in the House in a similar vein. You've got to have border security. You've got to have a good employer verification system, but you have to have an employer verification system to get at the issue of identity theft. But you have to do that in a way that is sensitive to the fact that Hispanics' surnames are the people who are the primary victims of identity theft. You have to get that one right, meaning you don't want to have a system that makes it harder for a person to get a job. So you have to have a system that makes it sure that people can reclaim their identities. So border, employer verification, then you have all these various visa issues. Guest workers, STEM, or what we call H-1B visas, skilled, unskilled, seasonal. Then the thornier issue of the 11, let's just say it's 11 million. Nobody knows the number, of undocumented. I think the Rubio principle, which I believe this group was advancing as well, of earned legalization, where you maintain the balance between respecting the rule of law and being realistic about how to handle this population in a respectful way is earned legalization. You're not going to get rewarded for cutting in line against another immigrant who played by the rules. You have to, pay back taxes. You got to make sure you don't have a felony on your record, and you can get temporary work visas to maintain employment. And if you want to, a lot of folks aren't looking for citizenship. They're just looking for work permits. And if you want to become a citizen, then you have to go through that normal process that everybody else does at the back of the line behind those who've done everything legally up till now. So that kind of a system, how you do that, the devil's in the details, so they say. How you do that is something we're going to have to debate and compromise on. But I think that generally is it. Now the question always becomes, well, are you going to do one big bill, or are you going to break it up in pieces? Right. Now, my personal view from a legislative tactical standpoint is pieces works better. I did, as a staffer, I worked on the 96 bill, and I actually helped write an amendment to defeat closing down family immigration. It was a Brownback amendment. I worked on Jack Kemp's anti-Prop 187 stuff when I was a staffer. I worked on this issue a long time, and I've watched these big efforts come where they have this comprehensive bill that they bring to the floor. And when you make a big comprehensive bill, too many members have too many problems with too many various provisions, and it collapses under its own weight. If you do separate, you have different vote coalitions. So let's take this bill in 5 pieces, let's say. You'll have 5 different vote coalitions getting it through and passing it at the end of the day. But for bipartisanship, for getting a good agreement, you have to be honest with each other and make commitments that all of these pieces will come up. And that's what I think some people are concerned about is, oh, you Republicans, you'll just move these things you like, but you won't move this other thing. Right. You just have to have that commitment there in order to get it done.
Is it doable this year?
Yeah. I think, and look, I've been wanting to do this since 04 or 05, so I personally believe we should have done this a long time ago. I really do believe it's doable this year.
What would be the first bill you'd like to see?
Well, I think they should come together in the same week. Okay. So I think for the sake of keeping this issue together and keeping a bipartisan coalition together, you have to have a commitment they're all going to come up. So you could bring one big comprehensive bill. I'm not opposed to that. I just worry that might not be as effective from a legislative passage standpoint than pieces. But if you're going to bring pieces, bring them all at the same time. Literally one after the other.